NBC is tweeting it. What? Yeah, sure enough. Here's, Yasser and Monahan just sitting there, just buddying it up on CNBC of all places.
Difference a year makes.
Yeah, just unbelievable. But before we get to that, we do have a lot of things we do need to cover on the show today because the world of golf just continues to go on. A lot of things going on in the world of golf, especially here in Wisconsin. After the AmFam, the next big event we have this summer is, of course, the U.S. Senior Open being played at the end of the month. We'll be up there on the 26th, but it is being played up in Century World, and we would like to welcome in Josh Mulady as he is going to help us break down some of the harder questions, I would say, in terms of preparing the golf course. So, Josh, when you're playing a major championship in the state of Wisconsin, I'm guessing there are some difficulties that go along with getting the golf course ready versus playing in a state like California or Florida or Texas. What are the difficulties of playing in a climate like Wisconsin and getting a course like Century World ready for major championship golf?
Yeah, so hey guys, thanks for having me on. Can you hear me okay?
We got you.
Hey, so I guess to answer your question, climate is certainly a consideration when you're talking about getting a major championship preparation ready, especially in a place like Stevens Point, Wisconsin. The further north you go, even if it's the end of June, they're usually a month and a half behind weather-wise for places further south. So it's been a difficult spring as is with very cool temperatures to start. And then also now we're going through essentially a month without any rain. So the odds have been stacked against them basically since the beginning of the season. So those are just some of the factors that go into some of the difficulties in setting up a major championship.
Josh, we had an opportunity to play the course last year, and I know that the course has been shut down in preparation for the U.S. Senior Open coming up in a couple of weeks. What is your favorite thing about that golf course and that property as somebody that has been around golf courses for a number of years?
I'm a big fan of Parkland-style golf courses, which is, I believe, what you would qualify Century World as. I'd say the overall layout is impressive. It's not a huge property, so there's just a lot of variables. The greens complexes are great, and Matt Smith, the golf course superintendent, has done a great job in preparation of this event.
Talking with Josh Mulady, he is the Wisconsin Territory Manager, Revels Tractor and Turf, and John Deere Golf, as they help get Century World ready for the U.S. Senior Open happening later this month up at Century World right here in Wisconsin. I got to imagine one of the things they also have to deal with there, Josh. I know a number of people who were up there a couple of weeks ago for the media day that they had, getting all those flowers out there. It's a challenge that no other golf course that I'm aware of has, in getting all the flowers out there for what their signature hole is, the 16th hole, a par 3, which is known as the flower hole, for all the flowers that are around the green complex.
Yeah, none of that is planting flowers is never easy, especially doing it in a somewhat efficient, well-organized manner. That in and of itself is, I mean, even if you're not trying to create essentially art when you're planting flowers, is difficult. So this brings it to a whole different level.
Josh, when you look around the state of Wisconsin, what are some of your favorite properties that you've had the opportunity to work on building up to this opportunity for you?
So I was born and raised in Wisconsin. I've worked on the East Coast and then on the North Shore of Chicago. And now my specific territory is essentially the top half of Wisconsin. And everyone knows the big boys, Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, Sand Valley, Century World, obviously. I would say just for me, where I live in Port Washington, Wisconsin, I would highlight Washington County Golf Course is a great track when it comes to rate, conditions, design of the golf course. And then in my territory specifically, I would highlight Stevens Point Country Club, unbelievable golf course just down the street from Century World. So I'd welcome anyone to try and play that if they're coming up to see the U.S. Senior Open. And then if you go even further north, I would highlight Minocqua Country Club.
What makes Minocqua so special? I've heard so many good things about it, Josh, and I've never had the opportunity. What makes it so special?
It's just a unique design for up there. There's so much undulation, and it's kind of carved in and out of trees, and it's a golf course where you're on one hole and you can't see the next hole for a lot of the property. And I just think it's unique for that part of the state, and it's a great place just in and around that area, golf wise. Minocqua, Rhinelander, St. Germain, Eagle River. There's a handful of golf courses worth playing in and outside of Minocqua Country Club.
We certainly appreciate the time, Josh. Thank you for jumping on and helping us talk about the U.S. Senior Open coming up later this month up at Century World.
You bet, fellas. Thank you.
Again, that is Josh Malady joining us. He is the Wisconsin Territory Manager, Revels Tractor and Turf, John Deere Golf, where they support area golf courses, including Century World, host of the 43rd U.S. Senior Open. Speaking of senior golf, it has become the biggest event in Wisconsin every year, understandably so, because it's just such a... Madison gets behind Steve Stricker. Madison gets behind Jerry Kelly. Madison gets behind Andy North, and all three of those have gotten involved, even though it's Steve's name that's on the tournament as the tournament host. People come out in droves. The number of people that were there for the celebrity foursome this year, when you were there on Saturday, it was packed. And it's always great to see so many people come out and support great golf here in the state of Wisconsin with the AmFam Championship.
Great golf, but also an incredible cause. I mean, the amount of money that they've raised for the Children's Hospital in Wisconsin, it's admirable what the Steve Stricker Foundation has been able to put together. And I feel like we talk about this every year with this particular tournament. The fact that we have an annual event of this magnitude is so important for this state because we've been so spoiled over the last decade to have multiple championships, whether it be PGA or US Open, and of course the Ryder Cup most recently. And we've got the Senior Open coming up in a couple of weeks. We've had the USGA has put the spotlight on Wisconsin, but to have consistency and know that every single year we're going to have an event that brings some of the most famous golfers to the state of Wisconsin, and it's going to stay here for the foreseeable future with this moving to TPC Wisconsin in a couple of years. It's awesome for golf fans, and it really is. It shows what people think about Steve Stricker in the game of golf, and the fact that the players are willing to come to Wisconsin every single year and make this a trip that they want to be a part of and play in this tournament.
With that being said, are you a little bit sad? I know what U Ridge means to you, being the former Badger and playing it as much as you did when you were a student there. And
yeah.
Look, I know what you're going to say. It's understandable, right? The tournament host put in a bunch of money to make Cherokee Country Club into TPC Madison. It was the worst kept secret in Wisconsin golf that this is where the tournament was eventually going to go, especially since it got that TPC moniker. But it's a great golf course, and it's one I know that's near and dear to your heart at U Ridge.
Yeah, trust me, I love University Ridge. I kept that place in business in my 4 years in Madison when I stayed in the summer for a couple of summers. But
no, you didn't. You were on the student rate, my friend.
Well, I played a lot of golf there. A lot of golf there, even on the student rate. They did well off me, let me tell you. I think that course is a little too easy for those guys. I think TPC Wisconsin should offer a little bit more of a challenge from what I've been reading about what Stricker is doing with that property. I think maybe I would say this. Maybe the Strickers can have us out and play TPC Wisconsin, and then I'll feel better about the move.
There we go. It's been put out there. Hopefully we can make our way over there and check out TPC. It's supposed to be open, I believe, later this summer, early fall, where it's actually going to be open, and it'll be ready, obviously, at this time next year for the American Family Insurance Championship.
Yeah, it's cool, too, for the Stricker family. I mean, they have invested a lot of their time, energy, and I'm sure money into this tournament as well. The way the four of them embraced this weekend is really special. I think that's what made Steve finally getting over the hump, getting the monkey off of his back and winning this thing, in the fashion in which he did.
Dominant fashion.
So special. Like he's had a lot of significant wins in his golfing career. Most recently as the captain of Team USA at the Ryder Cup. I would imagine that's number one for him, even though he never hit a shot at Whistling Straits. As far as a player, that has to be perhaps his most meaningful win. Maybe outside of his first PGA Tour win. He had a lot of wins at John Deere, but for what he built there, and the legacy that he's leaving in the city of Madison, for him to finally have his name etched on that trophy that says dream achieved, for how much money and how much good he's brought to that city, it was one of the feel-good stories in this entire golf season, was Steve Stricker holding up that trophy.
Guy's hot. We could see him hosting the trophy at the end of the month as well up at Century World.
He is on one of the more remarkable streaks that we've seen in golf at any level, because after winning this event over the weekend, he has now completed 55 consecutive rounds in championship play of par or better.
Excuse me?
That breaks Tiger Woods' record. Now, granted, these are two different tours. We're talking the Champions Tour versus the PGA Tour, and Steve will be the first to tell you that it is different. But that model and level of consistency is worth recognition. 55 consecutive rounds dating back to June of last year when he teed it up in the U.S. Senior Open. That is when this streak started. He has par or better every single round.
I'm just trying to get one. I just want one. He's hogging all of them. He's got 55 in a row in competition.
All but 4 have resulted in subpar rounds as well. It's important to note.
Yeah. So par or better, 51 of them have been subpar.
Yeah. He is on a tear right now.
Unbelievable.
And I hope he keeps that streak going to Century World, where he used to play high school golf once upon a time. I mean, it's an amazing story for Steve that he's going to potentially take that streak to his home state for what he's looking to complete a Summer Slam. He's already won the first 2 majors of the Champions Tour season.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling, Steve. Our opening segment brought to you by Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke. Caller 4 wins a $25 Mulligan's gift card right now at 800-990-3776. Caller 4 gets that Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill gift card. Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke.
Back to the course and on the tee with Gabe and Steven after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin provides the comfort of an Irish pub with the exciting atmosphere of a sports bar. Locally owned and operated, Mulligan's has 21 HD TVs for you to watch all the big games. Try their award-winning food, including Milwaukee's best chili, Irish lamb stew, and pub specialties. Enjoy the outdoor patio this summer at Mulligan's, voted Milwaukee's best happy hour and best Irish pub. A fun place to be on game day or any day. It's Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill on 27th Street in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
RJ Schinner has several Toshiba copier printers from James Imaging Systems. IT manager Gabe Colasari.
The reason why for James Imaging is their responsiveness, dedication, knowledge of the product, and they always make sure that the customer is taken care of.
The kind of customer service you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company like James Imaging Systems.
We actually have a high-end printing machine on site, so we produce our own catalogs, so we need the support to handle that.
James Imaging Systems. Better document imaging technology, better service.
When we've got a problem, we're able to call in and get it rectified or corrected without any issues.
Gabe, any advice to other local businesses?
Contact James. I mean, they'll take care of you.
James Imaging Systems. Reliable document imaging technology, extraordinary local service. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Hey, this is Gary Ellison for my good friends at the Jewelry Center. It's the only place I go when I'm looking to get some new jewelry. Dean and his team are always friendly and know just what I'm searching for when I stop by. I may not always know what type of jewelry I want, but the professionals there sure do. Plus, if I need repairs on watches or other jewelry, the Jewelry Center does that too. Find the Jewelry Center in Burlington, Brookfield, and Greenfield, or shop their entire collection online, including their popular Lightbox lab-grown diamonds at shoptjc.com.
Ewald Automotive is making your car buying experience even easier. It's so easy, you'll be in and out of the dealership in about an hour. Go to ewaldauto.com, select the vehicle you're interested in, and get your instant price. Get a firm trade-in offer, customize your payment option, and even add your own protection plans. Then head to the dealership, and you'll be in and out in about an hour.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
Don't miss your chance to see the legends of golf when they come to Central Wisconsin this summer. Watch your favorite players like Steve Stricker, Ernie Els, Jerry Kelly, Padraig Harrington, and more up close as they battle for the 43rd U.S. Senior Open Championship at Century World in Stevens Point. June 27th through July 2nd. Buy your daily, weekly, or premium tickets now at ussenioropen.com. That's ussenioropen.com.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
We know. I don't have a problem paying for someone else. I just, there's no way. I could get a new weed whacker or a blower. Yeah.
You can never be too sure.
That's $60
Wait, that's
for parking.
the going rate for blowers these days?
A souped up one. Sometimes more. It depends on what you're asking for. Remember what you get.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
So many great things going on in the world of Wisconsin golf. Coming off the AmFam Championship this weekend, also getting ready for the U.S. Senior Open here in the state of Wisconsin. At the end of the month, the Wisconsin State Women's Open going on right now in Madison at Blackhawk Country Club, and some great junior golf going to be happening as well as we welcome in our next guest here on the tee. He is the director of junior golf for the Wisconsin PGA, but more importantly, Stephen, he is my next opponent in the Brown Deer A-Cup match series.
So do I need to moderate this discussion?
Yes, yeah. It's going to get very contentious. He is Andy Landenberger. Andy, thank you so much for the time and jumping on the show, man.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to mention that I was going to slip that in later, Gabe. But yeah, big match coming up. We got a couple weeks to prep here before we got to get it in. But yeah, it'll be fun. Should be fun.
Yeah, 5-4 victory for him. I won via forfeit, so we don't even know if I earned my spot. Andy, I mean, he really earned his spot. 5-4 win in the previous round. But
Andy, if you need a couple of tips, we can talk on the side about how to get into Neitzel's head.
I might. I'll have to slip Mr. Watson a few bucks. And,
he hits the ball really far, but don't let that get in your head, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha.
Andy, speaking of Brown Deer, you guys have a really cool event. And the number you texted me when we were talking about getting you on the show kind of blew my mind. So the junior event that you have going on at Brown Deer next week, tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our junior championship is next week. Brown Deer, Drutzka Park. Kids play one round at Brown Deer, one round at Drutzka Park. We kind of flip them. June 21st, June 22nd. Right now, our entries close on Friday. We have 355 players from all over the state playing, the best of the best, and just kids from all over playing. So it should be a great event. It's a national qualifier for us, so the best boy and girl from that event get into the National PGA Junior Championship, which is a really great event. So, Brock, that's a worldwide big event for junior golf.
When I hear 355, is that normal, or are we seeing a rise in golf among juniors right now?
No, definitely. We've seen a rise in golf. I think last year we were about 320. Years ago, when we used to run the event at Yahara Hills, they have a 36-hole facility there. We hit 400 at one point before we then moved. When Yahara Hills wasn't sure if they were going to open and we were going to move the event, we were looking at moving it, Milwaukee, just changing the venue, and then we went down to in that 340 range. So we haven't been in the 350 range for years. So it's great. I think we're definitely, we have 150 junior events on our schedule. A lot of events are filling up. A lot of events are already full, but kids can still play, and we have every event for all ages and abilities. Your beginners for our Par 3 events. We had a Par 3 event at Hanson Park today. We had 100 players playing over there. We had like 80 kids playing like Ripley today in a junior tour event. So we kind of, every day we're kind of, pick and choose what you like to play in, but we have plenty of openings still available.
Director of Junior Golf for the Wisconsin PGA, Andy Landenberger, joining us on the T 94.5 ESPN. If people want to sign up for one of those events, if they want to sign up for the event next week, the Junior Championship you mentioned right here in Milwaukee, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website, whiskjuniorgolf.com. So it's WISC Junior, spelled out, golf.com. They can find all our info there. They become a junior member, save some money on some entries, and check out some other events and things going on this summer.
Do you guys have any other events as well that benefit the Junior Foundation?
Yes, we have different tours, especially in the Milwaukee area. We have our X Golf. So we have our sponsor, X Golf. We have some X Golf County Parks events. So this week we have an event at Curry Park. That one is not open, but next week I believe we are at Whitnall, it might be Grant Park. So we're at all the local county parks system. So we run a tour of about 8 events at those events, or at those courses this summer. So you got plenty of opportunities for if you want to travel and you want to go somewhere and play, a couple hours away, or you want to stay local. We have plenty of options for everybody.
Andy, we certainly appreciate the time, man, and pubbing Wisconsin Golf. Appreciate everything you do for junior golf here in the state of Wisconsin.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Andy Landenberger, again, Director of Junior Golf for the Wisconsin PGA. 355 kids, Stephen, playing in the Junior Championship next week. And, again, registration closes on Friday.
It's cool. And he talked about X Golf, and I have to imagine that the rise in simulators and opportunities for these kids during the winter months has really increased those numbers as well. It's probably symbolic of what we're seeing at the adult level, too.
I will say this for X Golf as well, not just because it's my buddies who own the ones here in the Milwaukee area, and I've got to know those guys really well. X Golf takes a lot of pressure off. I never thought I would ever get my wife to swing a golf club. Just not something that she was interested in.
Yeah.
And last year we went to an event up at X Golf Brookfield with a couple of friends here. Brian D., who filled in on Homer and Tony earlier today, and his wife. We all went up together, and Brian plays a little bit of golf. His wife swings a little bit, and they peer pressured my wife into actually swinging a golf club. And had we been outside, she would have never done it. But it's just kind of low stakes, low pressure. That's one of my favorite things about indoor places like an X Golf. What's not a low barrier of entry is being a security guard at a PGA Tour event. What's the process like to apply for that position?
Former middle linebacker in the NFL or Canadian Football League. That's who was protecting the 18th green at the Canadian Open.
Adam Hadwin quickly became the story of the RBC Canadian Open, despite somebody from Canada winning the event for the first time in 69 years. But it was Adam Hadwin who got tackled on the 18th tee trying to go out and celebrate. And he went out there in jeans and a hoodie, so I guess the security guard didn't realize he was Adam Hadwin, PGA Tour player, and he got tackled.
That is one thing about golfers. They're pretty unassuming people.
Yeah.
Now, you throw a guy out there in jeans and a collared shirt who's watching the Canadian Open, fits right in. He's got a drink in hand. It's not like he's coming off of finishing the 18th hole and he's in his full gear and he's got a golf bag next to him. I mean, because it went to 4 playoff holes, he and the rest of the Canadian guys who he was with, Mike Weir and Corey Connors, they went back, showered, had a couple
Mackenzie
of drinks,
Hughes.
and then they come back out and he just looked. The guy was doing his job.
Yes.
Now, the level in which he took his job seriously could probably be questioned.
He was protecting national treasure Nick Taylor.
He has one.
Dude's a national treasure now. He just won. He's the first Canadian to win the Canadian Open in 69 years. Dude's a national treasure. I don't write the rules, Steven. I just enforce them.
When you win a golf tournament with a walk-off eagle of a 72
feet.
Putt, yeah. You better run for office.
Here's what it sounded like on CBS television with the legendary Jim Nantz.
Good pace. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness! Glorious! Davis and free.
Place is up for grabs.
We're storming the 18th green now.
Wait for it.
They just tackled Adam Hadwin, by the way, who was trying to approach his friend. Security did, not knowing that's exactly who it was. But Canada has a conquering hero.
Nance got caught up in the moment, man. He's a play-by-play man, right? He sees something, he has to describe it on TV. They didn't show it on the CBS broadcast. I don't know why. Probably because it was a 4-hole playoff and they were way over time, so they didn't get a chance to go and show it. So, I mean, social media came through, and there were about 4 or 5 different angles that came out. My favorite is one. It's posted on the Jen Gabe Chew and Chewy Twitter page, because we talked about it this morning as well, at Jen Gabe Chewy on Twitter. It is, you see Nick Taylor and his caddy embrace. You see Adam Hadwin coming out. He's got the champagne bottle. He's shaking it up, getting ready to douse his friend. The security guard on the other side of the embrace of caddy and player sees it, comes running around, and just has that look in his eye.
That angle that the RBC Canadian Open tweeted out, it looks like National Geographic. like there was
Predator.
a lion turning the corner, and just there was eyes locked on Adam Hadwin. We're talking about a 5'8", 160-pound man, and that security guard looked like an NFL player. It did not seem like a fair fight. A simple stop, I think, would have justified in the moment. But I'm so glad that he went parallel because...
Oh, yeah. If he, messed up his shoulder or something?
That was a tackle.
Well...
And what unbelievable content for us in the golf world.
So, 1, the form tackle, phenomenal. 2, I am really impressed by Adam Hadwin's ability not only to take and absorb the hit properly, but also limit the amount of spilling he did out of the champagne bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
That goes right up there with, dad catching a fly ball with beer in one hand and, kid in the other.
Right?
That was an impressive feat by Mr. Hadwin.
Held on to the bottle. He completed the process of the catch. You know, when he held on to that bottle, it was something that was really impressive to me. A really cool moment. 72 feet for the win. Do you remember the longest putt you've ever made?
No, I don't. I hate to bring it up to you, Gabe, because it was just pushed out by our great marketing team here at ESPN Milwaukee. But 18 at Erin Hills when we did our remote out there.
Yeah.
Which you can now watch our full round on our YouTube page.
Minus a shot.
Minus a shot, but you missed the putt, so you didn't put the bow on it on that 18th hole.
Fair.
I would say that's up there for one of the more dramatic putts I've made.
Okay.
I definitely dropped a bomb from off the green somewhere, but
yeah, I was about to say
it didn't mean a whole lot. That putt on 18 at Erin meant a lot.
I think it had to have been 50 or 60 feet. I made one last year on my trip to Scotland, which was really cool.
That's a cool place to do it.
Yeah. It was at North Berwick, and there is, I can't remember if it's the 13th or 14th hole. There's a hole that has a little wall protecting the green. So, you hit your shot, and then your second shot, you got to make sure you clear the wall, right? And I've got this little, touchy 60-yard wedge that I'm trying to get. And my caddy, the last thing he says is, make sure you get it over the wall. I barely got it over the wall. I thought it was going to hit the wall for a second. So it hit a downslope and released all the way to the back of the green, pins in the front. And the last thing my caddy said to me was, just worry about pace. Just, that's all you're trying to do here from this. Just buried it.
That's awesome.
So that stands out, maybe because it was at one of the 6 rounds that I got to play in Scotland, that sticks out. But yeah. I'm surprised that you don't have a bomb of a putt that just stands out.
So many.
There's just so many you can't. Yeah, I mean, you are a tremendous putter. I get it. I understand.
But what a weekend of golf! We talked about Steve Stricker in the first segment, the poetic, of him winning his hometown event that he started, and then Nick Taylor going out and winning the Canadian Open, the first Canadian in 69 years to win there. I mean, what an awesome weekend in golf that we really needed it, Gabe.
Yeah, we did. And I still don't know what to believe, who to believe, where to turn to when it comes to details on whatever the world of men's professional golf is going to be. And we'll dive into some of those details that have come out since The world of men's professional golf was shattered last Tuesday. That's coming up next on the tee. But don't miss your chance to see some of those legends we've been talking about on the show when they come to Central Wisconsin this summer. Watch your favorite players like Steve Stricker, Ernie Els, Jerry Kelly, Padraig Harrington, who is bombing the golf ball, by the way. Like, just absolutely hitting bombs. He's going to be fun to watch. Like, he should have a very large gallery following him around at Century World.
Doesn't matter, though, on a Parkland course. It's tight.
Yeah, but think about the par 5 where I was able to cut the corner, where it's just kind of, it wraps around left around that pond. Like, imagine how much he's going to be able to cut off versus somebody like Stricker. Like, that's going to be a huge advantage on that hole. Very similar to Bryson at
Bay Hill.
He's going to be able to flip a wedge in there because he's just bombing the golf ball.
I am not betting against Steve Stricker right now.
That's very fair.
His winning percentage is 26% since he joined the Champions Tour, by the way.
That's outrageous. You can watch all those guys, like Padraig Harrington and Steve Stricker, as they battle for the 43rd U.S. Senior Open Championship at Century World in Stevens Point. It's June 27th through July 2nd. Buy your weekly, daily, or premium tickets now at USSeniorOpen.com. That's USSeniorOpen.com.
No ifs, ands, or puts. There's more On the Tee with Gabe and Steven coming up on 94.5 ESPN. It's all about the drive. On the Tee is brought to you by Ewald Automotive. Shop the Ewald Automotive Group, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile limited warranty on all new vehicles. Visit any of their 8 locations today, in-store or online at ewaldautomotive.com. Ewald Automotive, we make it easy.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life is supposed to be fun. With Best Burger Awards in the trophy case, peanuts raining from the ceiling, and boozy custard shakes, AJ Bombers is just plain fun. Located on Water Street in downtown Milwaukee, AJ Bombers is the perfect place for pregame grub. Prefer to watch the game from a bar stool? Enjoy great views from multiple flat-screen TVs while you cheer on Milwaukee's home teams with a smash-style burger and fried cheese curds. Visit AJ Bombers on Water Street or check out ajbombers.com.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, we can communicate with you through telepathy. Now, I don't think anyone in 2023 has mastered telepathy yet, but if you have, then you can totally read my thoughts right now. And yes, I did leave the oven on. Wow, you're good at this.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive.
Do you smell smoke? I really should go.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first place rankings, Root Metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
Jump into summer fun when the Brewers take on the Pirates Friday, June 16th through Sunday the 18th. Start the adventure on Indiana